Like many of you, we battled depression during life's ups and downs.
Music has always been the one thing that we could rely on to get us through the tough times that we all face.
Follow us on our journey as we discuss the healing power of music,
Interview bands,
break down genres,
review band biographies,
and more.
This is the When Words Fail
Music Speaks podcast
with Blake Mosley
and James Cox. Nashville-based rock band The Dead Deads are cherry-picking everything good about grunge, hard rock, indie, classic metal, and punk, and creating the memorable and fun alternative music for rock bands across generations and genres. They are that up-and-coming band that touring artists have known and loved at first sight. They've been named by many of their own heroes, including Paul Stanley and Eric Singer from Kiss, Leslie Hale from Hailstorm, Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick, Corey Taylor from Stone Sour and Slipknot, and Sean Morgan from Seether, as one of the most refreshing new bands touring today. And they have conjured a wildly engaged fan club, the Dead Corps. With excess paint over their eyes, the band and fans conjure a rebellious return to fun, freedom, and true fandom. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one member from the Dead Deads. Please welcome Meta.
Hey, Meta, how are you?
I'm so well. Thank you for asking. Happy to be here.
Happy to talk to you because I got one of those email blasts and you're ready to come on. I'm like, yes, let's do it. You know, so
Awesome.
I contacted back to your PR person. I think your name is Amy.
Yeah, Amy
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Yeah, Amy's great. Yeah, she's so awesome to work with. So I'm like, yes, let's do something. And here you are.
Wonderful.
You are.
Great.
Yeah. So you're from Nashville, right?
Yeah, I'm from a little town south of Nashville, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've been
Well,
a
same.
Tennessee girl most of my life. Yeah.
Nice. So in this pandemic, of course, so what's the feel for Nashville now? Because I know, like most bands are starting to branch out and get gigs and stuff. So is that with Nashville or is there?
Yeah, I mean,
so-
Nashville had kind of a part of it that never really closed down properly, and so that was kind of I don't know, kind of a low point for us. I think the fact that we were on national news, you know, with shows still happening right at the height of the pandemic.
Right.
That doesn't represent all of Nashville. Nashville's been very safe, very courteous, very awesome as far as just really wanting to keep everyone safe and protected. And most of the really great venues heartbreakingly closed and have stayed shuttered the whole time. So none of the places that we would normally play have done any kind of shows whatsoever. And there's not really anywhere that's even starting that up now. There's some outdoor things kind of happening now that the weather's warming up a little bit, and I'm sure we'll see more of that. And we've just started to see a sprinkling of like late summer, early fall dates showing up on concert calendars. So we'll just, we'll see how it goes. As far as our band, we don't have anything booked yet, and we're still just, we had a national tour cancel right at the beginning of the pandemic, and we just kind of have stayed off the touring even conversation until we know more.
Right. Well, I also like to ask this to everybody because for me to keep sane and to listen to actually live music now, bands are starting to do the virtual concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to any? Because I've been to 2 of them. I've been to Demon
I've
Hunter.
been to a bunch of them. In fact,
Nice.
I just try to encourage everyone. Like, I think it's not in the full understanding of the music consumer of how much of our money does come from live touring. And so I think people don't really fully understand just how devastating financially the pandemic has been for artists and their crew. So I tried to basically any band that I even remotely liked, I tried to, if I could afford to, buy their ticket. A couple of my favorites were Corey Taylor's. I really enjoyed. We had a bunch of different local friends do them. Our friends Hurts to Laugh did a cool one. Everybody's gotten really creative and just found a way to make it work, and I think that's really cool. We did one for Christmas in Vegas, and it was called Abduction 3, I think. And it was awesome. It felt like our fans were there, even though we were there by ourselves, just because we could feel the love and then get on get on the chat room later and just see who all was there, and then
Right.
we did a meet and greet. So it's still, it doesn't replace a hug, and it just certainly doesn't replace the live experience, but I'm glad people are at least trying to embrace that.
Right. Well, see, so for so many bands doing those virtual concerts, I kind of missed the Corey Taylor when I had no idea that was going on. But I did manage to see Demon Hunter, and of course, one of my favorite bands now is Avatar.
Oh, and those boys put on a show like no
Man,
other.
let me tell you something.
Avatar is just a super fun band to see live.
Yeah, Avatar's
For sure.
legit because I bought one ticket, and that ticket covered four days, like
Because they did all their albums.
yes, right.
Yeah, it was
And like the whole month of January, every Saturday at 4:00. I'm there.
fantastic. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
guys.
And the great
are
thing
really
is, I was off work at 4:00, so it's like
Exactly.
yes, let's do it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. So it's amazing what musicians can do online nowadays, as
Yeah.
opposed to 80s and 90s and early 2000s that wasn't even heard of yet. you know?
Oh, everyone would. I mean, there'd be nothing.
Yeah, no, nothing at all. So musicians would have to look elsewhere for 95 jobs or something, along those
Yeah.
lines.
Which I'm sure, I mean, we all did that too during the pandemic. We all picked up
Yeah.
our old jobs, and, my band, we all quit our jobs like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago or something like that. And then to tour. But yeah, of course, we all picked our jobs back up. And it's been interesting. Like we're lucky that we had that we had something we could pick up so that we can keep, making the van payment. And,
Yeah.
like there's,
Yeah.
It,
So it's
being in a
something.
band costs money, your rehearsal spaces, your band payment,
Yeah.
if you have storage or whatever. So yeah, I mean, there's still bills even when you're not on the road.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's always something,
Mhm.
They want to get your money any way they can. They'll do it,
yeah,
So, I see you guys get your flannel shirt on.
yeah.
Way to go! Hell yeah! Because I rocked those back in '90.
Well, this one's kind of a special one.
Oh, Caesar, yes, yes. I love
Is
Caesar. Caesar's great. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of touring with them, and we at the end of they were selling these on one of their tours, and we all kind of just adopted it as our just everyday jacket. Like
Right,
we're all
yeah.
wearing. We realized we had a uniform that tour. It was pretty funny, but
Right. Yeah, because while I was researching y'all, I noticed or I read that y'all did a tour with Bush
Mhm.
on your first tour.
So we did a couple tours with Bush. It wasn't our very first tour, but it was
Okay.
early on. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So,
those guys are super cool.
Okay, yeah, because that was the next question is how were you treated on tour? Did you have any fallbacks or they
No, oh my gosh, no. We've only been on tour with one band that wasn't fun. Like basically
Right.
everybody we've been out with has been so cool, so nice, so awesome. And Bush was no exception. They were so accommodating for us, and usually most bands will let us stretch our time slot a little bit and play a little
Right,
extra.
yeah.
They were all down for that. It was just a fun time. They were really nice to us.
Nice. Well, that's always good to have a good band to work
Yeah.
with,
Yeah, and
But
they
that's
had
not-
catering, which was great. So we
Free
had
food,
food.
come on,
There
yeah.
was a massage therapist we could utilize.
Oh,
It was
man.
pretty posh. Yeah.
Speaking of massages, I haven't had a massage ever in my life. I really need to get one because my back hurts me so much. So
Yeah. Well,
because I
now,
have CP. So
yeah. Well, now's not the time, but
right, yeah. Maybe when everything opens up, I can get one.
Yeah, you should definitely look into it soon.
Yeah. So who was your first musician that you looked up to and said, "Yep, I gotta be like her or him"?
I didn't really have anyone I never thought of myself as talented enough to be someone famous, but eventually I did. But I think as a kid, I just, I thought Michael Jackson and Prince were basically the best thing that ever happened to music. And still to this day,
Still are.
you can't deny Prince's influence on just really everything. So
Yeah.
but that was, I remember just thinking Prince was just the most magical unicorn person that I just admired so much. And but yeah, as far as what I wanted to be like, I remember seeing Amy Grant when I was a kid and thinking like, man, she's like so cool, and I could really like envision myself kind of having, having songs like her. And she was, maybe the first female artist that I really idolized as a kid.
Right. Yeah. Well, I gotta give it to her because I think she's still married to Vince Gill, right? That's one of the longest marriages. Well, great for her, because you hear about these big time musicians that got married and separated like 3 years down the road.
I mean, it's pretty. Marriage is hard anyway.
Yeah,
and when you add fame and success onto it, I'm sure it's just a crapshoot.
Yeah, but Vince and Amy are killing it now. I don't know how long they've been married, but forever, it seems like.
I would bet at least 30. I would bet at least 25 years.
I would imagine that too, because they've been married.
But I don't know.
I don't know either. But I totally agree with you on with the Prince remark, because Prince had one of the most legendary careers ever, and I still think to this day he has one of the best Super Bowl halftime shows ever made.
I don't think there's any disagreement on that. I think most people that have seen it are like, "Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one."
You can't. Yeah, no, I don't think anybody can deny it or will deny it. Except for internet trolls and so.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of facts in art, but I think that one's probably a fact. That was an incredible night.
Yeah.
For music.
Right. So it's no secret that you're a big fan of the punk genre. Is that true? And if not, what genre is your favorite?
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say punk's my favorite genre. I don't know. If you ask me on any given day, I'd give you a different answer on what my favorite genre is. But I loved punk music. Like pop punk is kind of where I settled into. I really loved all the Epitaph bands. So I loved NoFX and Bad Religion. And I think the reason I really liked punk music is because it's the first place I felt like I could use a bunch of words and that it wouldn't ruin the song. Like I could be really wordy and say everything I wanted to say, and it wouldn't make the song sound stupid. It would make the song sound cool. Whereas in a lot of pop music, if you're too verbose, it kind of ruins the song.
Yeah.
But punk was like a place where you could just yell all the things you think. And so it really appealed to me in that respect as a songwriter. And then, but with the Dead, I think you want to have a live show that is engaging and fun. And I think for us, the best way to do that is to mix a lot of genres together. So people don't get bored. It's like, okay, you don't like punk music? It's going to be alternative in like 2 seconds. Okay, well, you don't like that? Well, it's going to be like jam bandy in like 1 minute. So just hang
tight.
Yeah, we kind of cycle through as many genres as we want to, and just it keeps the listeners engaged. And even if you go to a metal growl at a show or whatever, whatever I'm doing, like it just you take people to a bunch of different places, and no matter what genre they prefer, they don't get bored. So, and the three of us, our tastes are all over the map. So we really throw a bunch in there. It's just a big soup.
Big soup of everything good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I find bands that are so like have more than just one genre involved in the band, I find that fantastic because it means like you're open to other stuff. You're trying to do different things. And if you just stick to one thing, you'll get bored and like you kind of don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it just depends what you like. For us, I think if we were just doing one style, we would get bored. But it just depends on where you're at. For us, being in a band is a lot about just the writing process together, just our part of it. And so we just have fun being weird. So.
There you go. That's the best way to be,
Yeah.
So, did this form in high school, or did you start like later and after high school?
No. We're a band of grown-ups. We started way late, so we had all had bands in high school. And the bassist and I, Daisy, we met when we were 17. So we became friends then, but we didn't start the band until way into adulthood, and it was after we'd all been in tons of bands, and then we had jobs, and I never stopped playing music. I always was playing in different projects, but the band happened kind of on accident of just a series of events that led to it, of just a hangout that turned into more. So it wasn't, I would say we knew each other back then, but we weren't a band until much more recently.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, because I've always it seems like most musicians I talk to nowadays have started a band in high school and formed into something greater. So yeah, so I think it's good that you I don't. It's always good that you start a band with. I mean, it doesn't matter when you start it. It matters about if you start it and just keep going.
Yeah,
So
that's the main thing we care about a lot. Is just I think part of what's inspiring and fun about the Dead Deads is that we didn't start it when we were kids. We started it as adults, and it sets an example for other adults of like, yeah, maybe you never did do a band. Well, you can still do one now. Like no one's stopping you. You can find a way to work it into your regular life, especially now with how much access we have on the internet to get our music out there. You don't have to sign a label and tour all the time. You can find someone to record your music for cheap, put it online cheap, and at least be part of the conversation, and you don't have to, the only thing limiting you is just your own inhibitions, I guess, about it.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's important.
That's cool. So I read it in an article with the look of your band and the pseudo names and the face. So was the face paint derived from the band Kiss?
Actually,
no, go ahead.
It wasn't derived from the band Kiss.
Okay.
But I would say kind of like just we liked the thing that we liked about Kiss was more visual of just like, yeah, they have a thing that they're doing and they each have their own kind of personality. And we thought that was really cool. We liked the Kiss Army, so we kind of wanted to have a fan club like the Kiss Army. And what's funny about that coming full circle is, so the makeup was something else, just being dead, wanting to be dead, like look dead. But but the funny thing is, we ended up playing with Kiss last year. We played 5 shows on the Kiss cruise, and Kiss would come watch us play. And the one thing they said was, they love the band. They would set up a little divider so that some of the guys from the band could come watch us without getting pummeled by their fans.
Yeah.
And the one thing they said is like, you guys need to like take your image to the next level. Like you need to do even more. Like you're here, but you need to be here. and so we kind of took that to heart and we're like, okay, yeah, because we really did just kind of wear whatever. We would do the X's, but then we just wear whatever we wanted to. And playing with Kiss was when which was more than a year ago now, but it really made us think like, oh yeah, we should step it up. So we did, and we've kind of changed the stage look a little bit after that. We had dressed up for Halloween on the cruise and with Kiss, and we were wearing these skeletal bodysuits, and it made us realize like, kind of this superhero persona. So we have augmented it a little bit since then, and we definitely got that from Kiss, straight from the mouth of Kiss, like, you need to step it up. Like, okay.
They're heard you loud and clear, right?
They're like, the music is right where it needs to be, the look needs a little more.
Well, it's funny you should mention being dead with the X's, because I remember now the old cartoons is like when they signified that they died, they put like X's over their eyes.
That's where we got it from.
Because you couldn't have any blood or anything in the 40s and 50s, shows.
Exactly.
So
it's the cute way to look dead.
Right. right. So I like what you're doing with your fans. The Dead Core. It's Dead Core or Dead Corpse?
It's Dead Core. It's Dead Core. Okay. Core is in like a group of a military group of people. And that just, like I said, the Kiss Army, we thought that was cool. Bush had the Bush Army. Right. And we just wanted to, first we kind of were just naming it as like, oh, if we ever had a fan base, this is what it would be called. And it wasn't too long into it that one of our fans, Jammer Dead, started a fan page. And now it's kind of, they've kind of built themselves. We give them their dead names. Yeah,
because I was going to ask you, because it's more than 400 followers on Twitter, and y'all gave them all dead names. So what inspired you to give them dead names? Did you want to like really connect with fans, find something that you and them can have together?
I think it's always fun to have a nickname, and it's always fun to be part of a club. Like both of those things are really fun. So why not put them together? Like we have fun with our dead names, so everybody in the band has one, and people would muse like, I wonder what mine would be. And we just were like, well, let's give you one. So we just started giving people their dead names based on their personality, or if we didn't know them, we would kind of research them on their Twitter or wherever social media and kind of see what their likes and dislikes were. And Daisy's really good at making up dead names, so she's done a lot of them, and we keep a kind of a list of them and make sure that everyone's is unique. No one has the same. So if someone's like, I want to be Kitty Dead, we're like, well, you can't be because there already is one. So everybody has their own. Yeah, so it's been a really fun thing. I think it just and people will get like patches. We have like kind of like a biker patch set that you can get that has your own dead name on it. You can order them from our website. So a lot of people just take a lot of pride in their dead name and use it as their handle online, and it's just a really fun thing.
Yeah. I read on your website that if a member of the Dead Corps, the Dead Corps goes to the shows like 5 times, they get like something special, and if they go like 10 times, something special, and they grow more than that.
We started that just to figure out, playing locally, like how do we get people to keep coming to our shows after they've seen us a couple
That's
times.
smart. Yeah.
So we started it for that, but then it just kind of grew into, I mean, we have people now that have been to over 50 shows. We've got one guy who's approaching 100 shows, and that's not bad for the fact that he lives, 12-hour drive away from where we are. So, well, and he's just picked up a lot of shows on tours and things like that. So it's just, it was just a fun thing to like get people engaged. And now it's more of like a point of pride. Everyone's like, well, I've been to this many shows. I've been to this many shows. It's just fun.
Right. So there was a venue called the Basement East, and Mike Graham is he's a promoter or the owner of that of that venue. Yeah. And he said that y'all were the guinea pigs and y'all played the first show there.
Mm-hmm. So we played there before they were opened. He called us and we're like, would you guys come christen the club and like try out our sound system? So we got to be the very first band on that stage, it was really sweet. Like him and the other owner were just in the like big empty room listening, and they both just had tears streaming down their eyes. I think they were just so excited to like hear their room come alive with music. Yeah, so that was a really special memory for us.
That's awesome. So you were a band of 5, but now you're a band of 3. The lineup was Betty Dead, who was a guitarist and vocalist. Billy Dead, drummer and vocalist. Hella Dead, I love that name. That name's great. Hella Dead. She was the keyboardist and vocalist. And you, Meta Dead, and Daisy Dead, which is the bassist and vocalist.
Yeah.
So what was the reason for Betty, Billy, and Hella's departure? Or
I think different reasons for each girl. When we first started, we kind of started just for fun. Things got serious really fast. We had our first national tour was with Hailstorm 6 months after our first show. So things moved really quickly for my sister. I think it was just a physical burnout of Hella's my sister. Right. And so she was kind of the first person. She left a little earlier, like maybe toward the end of after our second album was released. And we had just been touring a lot. The album was really hard. It was just a time where you're just like grinding, trying to make something happen. You're going this label route of like really trying to get a major label. It didn't work out. So all the dreams that we kind of had wrapped up in that second record didn't come true, and so you choose to weather that storm or not, and you can't blame anyone for not. So the 2 girls that are not my sister, Billy and Betty, they had been a band before. Deadheads in Louisville, Kentucky. So they ended up really starting to feel the pull to get back into the kind of music they were doing before, which was a lot less grunge and more based in like roots rock, blues rock based. And so they were kind of feeling that vibe, whereas Daisy and I were kind of feeling this more experimental prog rock pull. And so creatively we were going in different directions, and we were all just exhausted. Yeah. So it was a thing where we weren't sure what we were going to do. But then we had a tour lined up, and no drummer and no other guitar player. And so we just called a couple friends and pulled it together. And Daisy and I went out with Tasha Jones from LA and Jonathan Gersitano, who was also living in Nashville. Or no, he was from LA at that time too. So he moved back, and the four of us did several tours together. And then but Tasha was still in LA, so then we found a local drummer to finish us out, and that was the easiest thing that's ever happened. We had a mutual friend that was like, this girl's incredible, you guys need to meet her and hang out. And it wasn't really a tryout, it was like a hangout. And we wrote a song in the first like hour we were hanging out, and just realized it was a really good fit, and we're blessed that she stayed with us. And she loves us and we love her. So it's been really awesome with McQueen is what she goes by. Her name's Katie Heron, and she's a badass and a really, really sweet person. And we've just had a blast finally finding this really simple, effective core thing. Power trio.
Yeah. Well, see, that was my next question in this. How did you meet McQueen? So thank you for that.
There you go.
Yeah, there I go. Right. That was easy.
One right into the other. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the summarized history of going from 5 to 3. It went 5, 4, 4, 3.
Okay. Right on. So today the trio has released 1 live album, 2 studio albums, and a split 7-inch single with Tell Your Girls It's Alright coming out next.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Okay. So could you explain the process of recording any album or all albums? Because I know that like some musicians write their stuff first and then music first, lyrics later.
Yeah.
How do y'all go about that?
Well, for the most part, we just write all in one room together. We'll just kind of jam until we get something we like, and then then one of us will kind of music direct. Like if I'm really feeling inspired about the song, I'll kind of start making some decisions about let's try this or let's try that. Everybody else will jump in. And then I'm usually kind of, once we get a vibe going, I'm usually writing lyrics in my head already, like as we're figuring out the music, because the lyrics might help define where the song's going to go. If it's like this certain lyric, I think, oh, that might be cool to do that with no music. So we might do a stop or whatever. We kind of like to do it all at one time so that it is this like living, breathing thing, and not first it's got to be this, then this, then this, then this, then this. So we try to keep it alive and breathing. And then I usually make a recording of it on my phone. And then I drive 2 hours home because I live 2 hours away from McQueen's house where we write. Mm-hmm. And then on the drive home, I usually finalize lyrics. And then the next time we rehearse, we practice it. Nice. And then it's a song. And then when we record, generally we'll record in a studio where we do bass and drums first, and then all the guitars, and then I'll take a day to do the vocals. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much how it's been. Of course, our most recent album, we took a lot more time on it. But usually it's always a race against the clock, trying to get it done really fast and get it mixed and mastered and printed and out there for the next tour. But since there's no tours, we didn't have to rush.
Right, exactly. Which is always good, because if you rush an album, it's not, if you rush an album on a song, it's not going to always be 100% what you want, because you got a deadline to finish. And
I have to say that probably nobody's album that they've ever made is 100% what they want.
Right. You're right about that.
Yeah, my husband says you don't finish art, you just abandon it. And that's pretty much, it's good to have deadlines, because that's when you know it's done, is when the time's up.
Right. Exactly. Well, when I was reading all the band members, I noticed one word that kind of repeated itself. It's vocalist. Is there like one person that sings now, or do you all sing on the album?
I'm the lead singer.
Okay.
And so I do most of the vocals, but live, Daisy does a bunch of vocals. So she does BGVs, basically background vocals, and then sometimes we have little parts where we're both singing something. But you would call me the lead singer, and she would be the background singer, I guess.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And then when the other girls were in the band, it was me, Daisy, everybody sang. just because it just gave it more of that gang feel, which was fun. It gives it kind of
Nice.
that punk rock vibe. But now that we're a three-piece, it's just me and Daisy. But a lot of times we have like guest vocalists jump up and sing with us or whatever. We just try to keep it fun.
Nice. That's a good time, you know. I mean, there's always music is supposed to be fun, and I don't think it should be serious. So, I mean, some songs are serious, but not. I mean, everything should be fun, you know.
Yeah, if it's not fun, I mean, there's always going to be hard work involved in anything
Yeah.
worthwhile. But if it starts getting where you're dreading it, then it's not the right fit. So
Right.
then you just do something else.
Yeah. So, the band released "In for Blood" on October 22nd, 2020 of last year. Amazing, right?
I can't believe that's so far away. That's crazy.
I know, right? So is that just a taste of what the new album is going to be?
Oh yeah, I mean
Okay.
that song's super weird. We wanted to put it out. Just we joked around with everyone that if people can handle that song, they'll like everything else. Or like let's put the craziest thing out first and see how it goes. And it was named one of the top rock tracks of the year by Spotify. So I think it went good. They like the weirdness.
They liked it, right?
They
Yeah.
like it. They really
Yeah.
like it. So we're in good shape. And yeah, the record's super weird. It's very accessible. There's something for everyone, and it's start to finish kind of a record that you would hope and pray a few people would sit down and actually listen to it like that front to back, because it is kind of a journey and it refers back to itself and does things like classic albums do. So has reprises of songs later. You'll hear them and then you hear pieces of them again and things like that. So it's really supposed to be like that. And it's fine for people to listen. Each song stands on its own, but I do like it as a set. And I think it's so In for Blood is kind of sitting in the middle towards actually the end of the record.
Okay.
Just to kind of jazz things up again and get weird again, because it comes in right after some pretty normal stuff. So
Right.
yeah, but there's something for everybody. So the other single, Hey Girlfriend, is like really straightforward, kind of grunge rock, a little bit Weezer-y, Nirvana-ish.
Nice. I love Nirvana. Nirvana is
Yeah.
like it for me. Yeah.
And then we'll have an acoustic song that comes out. So I mean, it's just kind of it's a little grab bag of everything we like to do.
So in your words, it's gonna be super weird, but yeah, it's super cool too. Come
It's
on.
accessible. Yeah, it's weird only in that we're just experimenting with different genres and things like that. But I don't think it's like it's not something that's hard to listen to, I would say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I like albums where I can just sit back and relax and just
Yeah,
you know,
it's
have a
not
good-
super challenging. It's just
Right.
it just does a lot of different stuff. So it's a roller coaster ride, but like the ride is smooth.
There you go. Yeah. So I found the song "Deal with Me," the
Mhm.
original version on YouTube because I could not find it on Apple Music or Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
The
know why?
original.
Huh?
The
Yeah.
original one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's because we put it out as a single to like prep for the record.
Okay.
And then once the record started happening, we realized that we wanted to put horns on the record. And
Yeah.
that song really felt great with horns on it. And so we decided to re-release the song with the horns instead. So we pulled the original version of it and put the new version up, which I think it came out yesterday. And so there's a new video and a new version of the song. What we're going to do is just wait a little while, let all the press outlets hit that video and that song. And eventually we'll put the other video back up so that people can enjoy because the old video is really cute. It's got a bunch of the deadcore in it, and it tells this really cool story about a girl that's just like living this mundane life and just looking for something more. And it's a really cute video. So it'll come back out after kind of the press cycle for this
Right. Yeah.
single, probably.
Because I did listen to both of them, and although I love the original song, I find it a little bit more. I don't want to say nicer because it's I find that like it sounds like a. I just like brass instruments along with my punk music for some odd
We do
reason.
too. We do too. So there's a lot of brass on the record this time. Daisy plays trumpet, and we both really love ska. So
Yes,
we weren't gonna try to make a ska record because that's not what we're here to do. We
Right,
would,
yeah.
but it would be a different band.
Yeah.
But that's not what the Dead Deads do. But I think jumping into those instruments just to kind of give a little homage to ska and the that we do love is great.
Also, it adds a little bit of punch to the song, you know.
Yeah, it makes it
It just feels good. Yeah,
sassier and just kind of gives it more swag, and I like that about it.
it
So
feels good. Feels good. So, so that was the last question I had for you. I just want to say thank you very much for coming on.
oh my gosh.
And for anybody listening, you can find their merch at the deaddeads.bigcartel.com.
Yeah.
So you can get shirts. I guess you sell
Oh my
everything
gosh.
under the sun.
They have everything. It's just I think in fact, like we have a contest running right now on Spotify for people listening to Deal With Me. And all you have to do is like take the song Deal With Me and add it to a playlist and you get entered. But it's we're raffling off a really nice like deluxe set of poker chips that have our faces on them. And they're really cute. I don't know if you can see them, but like, let me see. If I can.
Over, yep, right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
And they have the little box they come in.
Right.
But
awesome.
So there's like stuff. I mean, there's even weird stuff like that on the website. There's, I think, pretty soon there's going to be a set of playing cards too for the Deal With Me thing. But yeah, there's just whatever. There's whatever people usually have for sale when they're trying to make ends meet during a pandemic.
Yeah, it's rough out there, you know. But I feel like if there's music, people will congregate to it and you know, enjoy life, you know.
Yeah, so. For sure. Thank you so much for having me, and sure. I'm glad you're into Avatar. That's the way.
I found this band about 1.5 years, and I'm like, oh my god, why didn't I do it sooner? Because I love, you know, Hell of the Apocalypse and Raven Wine and Let It Burn. Just amazing band, and they're all so nice.
We met them. We played with them on a couple different cruises, and
nice.
And became acquainted with them, and it was really cool. They're to your point, they're such nice people. They were passing through Nashville, and we just messaged them on Instagram like, hey, we're the Dead Deads. Can we come to your show? And they're like, sure.
Yeah, sure. Come on.
Yeah, they're really nice.
I actually met them when I did that virtual concert, and I asked them if they wanted to be you know, come on this show when we're doing the film musically, and they said email our manager. So I'm hoping to God that pans out for me. So,
good luck with that. I hope so too. It would be fun. They're super sweet.
It would. To our listeners, they do have a Twitter account at the Dead Deads. Join their Dead Core.
Yep.
Yeah, and just get a dead name, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure
you'll hand them out, right?
Join us. Yep.
There
you just get on Twitter and hashtag what's your dead name, and we'll get back to you.
I'll do it. I want a dead name.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, and have a great night.
You too. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.